Namaste, namaste, and welcome to Monday morning yoga. And welcome to everyone online. Welcome to everyone joining us later on the video. Today we're going to look at sun salutations, and we're going to do a little bit of a sequence where we roll slightly off our mats. So I've set myself up with quite a little bit of space on either side of the mat. This came out as a short video a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to incorporate this practice into the sun salutation to focus on the areas in the back of the body that are also part of the core support, as this has been the theme all term. So today I've got a couple of blocks at the end of my mat, something soft to put underneath a knee if I'm in a lunge. And we're going to do our sun salutations in a really slow, steady, easy way. I want you to focus on allowing your breath to follow the movement as much as feels comfortable, but also breathing naturally whenever you need to. If you want to do something a little bit more vigorous in your sun salutations, please feel free to swing your leg forward and not use hands and knees and all of those things. But we are going to practice in this more steady manner to really focus on the sensations and to move from a place of real strength every time. So let's begin by standing and just allowing the feet to be a comfortable distance apart, soft in the knees, and then firming up in the center. You don't have to hold on really strong, just a little bit of action here and twisting from side to side. As you twist, allow the arms to swing loosely from the body, wrapping around the body and tapping the body wherever they fall. It becomes quite rhythmic once you get into it. So seeing if you can settle into that rhythm and work from that place of centered support, allowing grace through the shoulders, arms, wrists, fingers. You may even have the sensation of drawing the fingers through the air around you. And you might notice as you practice a loosening of any tension that you've brought into class with you, perhaps just an awareness of that so that you can soften it in a different way. Or you might be aware of stiffness or some other discomfort in the body. Just noticing it. Don't push through anything that you feel, any resistance in the body, just allowing it to be there. And then when you're ready, you can pivot on your toes. You might need to slow your rhythm down slightly to be able to move in the feet as well, because we want to move in a way that is very centered, very strong. And we're not swaying from side to side, we're still twisting, and we're twisting around an upright axis, which means we want to keep the spine lengthened, the body very much I was going to use a word I don't want to use, but upright. Let's just go with upright. Very good. Let your head follow the movement if it feels good to do that. And if you wish to, you can add a soft bend in the knees, a bounce and twist, bending and then twisting, lengthening as you twist. And again, you might need to slow your rhythm slightly down to accommodate this additional movement. Touching the opposite shoulder in front of you, opposite hip behind, if that feels good. Maybe it's the opposite side of the rib cage behind. If your arms come a bit higher up your back. Just a gentle tapping. Keeping that centered support, that gentle lift in the belly muscles. And we're going to turn this motion into a sideways movement. So reaching the arms across the body and pointing the opposite foot away from the reach of the arms. Keeping that gentle bounce. The rhythm is almost the same, perhaps. And we're beginning to find length down the sides of the body. Maybe stepping that toe that's pointed slightly back behind the body. Maybe reaching the arms slightly back as well. The arms can be as wide as you need to, or you might have them more narrow if that suits you. Doesn't matter, just move in a way that feels good. If you wish to, you can float the back foot off the floor. So here, we do want to try to keep some sort of centered support. So I did wobble just as I was transitioning here, but we don't want to lean too far over our standing leg. There's a lift in the belly, that soft bend in the knees, feeling the back of the body switching on, becoming really active. We'll do 2 more to each side. And then just simply allowing the arms to sway down and the feet to come to steadiness and the body to slowly return to center. And as you come to center, take a moment just to stand tall, soften your shoulders, maybe close the eyes or gaze gently downwards and observe the effect of your practice. So hopefully you feel an increase in your heart rate, your breath rate, a little sense of warmth or movement or energy or vibration pervading the body. And if you're aware of having overdone any areas that were not expecting a vigorous start to the practice, then just softening there, making sure you work with compassion throughout the rest of our time together. When you're ready, you can roll your shoulders a few times, blinking the eyes open if you'd like to, keeping them closed if you prefer. We're going to roll the opposite way as well. Very good. And then bringing the feet just a touch closer together, standing really tall. We're going to take the right ear to the right shoulder and just gently draw the chin towards the chest, and then the left ear to the left shoulder. And then chin to chest and right ear to right shoulder. If this particular movement doesn't suit you, then feel free to do some more individual head movements, either head turning, head leaning, or nodding up and down. If you're happy with these half rolls and you want to do a fuller circle, remember that you can lift your chin gently from one shoulder to the other shoulder, and just keep circling in the same direction. Whatever you're doing, allow it to be gentle, steady, slow, and give you time to observe the sensations in your body. If you're circling, going in the opposite direction when you're ready. Keeping that gentle lift in the belly. Trying to avoid taking the head too far back, just thinking about space underneath the chin. The connections between your movement and the sensations in the body. We do just one more in this direction. Finishing with your chin towards your chest. Take a moment in stillness here, gentle smile, and then bring your head upright, and we'll roll the shoulders again, a couple of times backwards, a couple of times forwards. Very good. I'd like to get the body quite limbered before we come to do our sun salutations, because it gives us more space to move into. It makes the sun salutation a little bit easier on us than if we use it as a warm-up, but we will come to that shortly. Let's take the right shoulder first, and we're just going to do a little shoulder rolling. Excellent. And then if shoulder rolling feels good, you can roll with your elbow, making nice circles around the body. And if it feels good with your elbow, you can roll whole arm circles with your shoulder, your whole arm involved. And you can do any one of these 3 variations. So if this longer arm variation doesn't suit you, just use one of the others. If it feels good to work with your whole arm or your shoulder or your elbow, Press into your feet, firm your belly, and begin to move your whole body as your arm moves. So just allowing as much of the body to join in with the movement as feels good in this moment. A little firmness across the buttocks, particularly as you open your chest, allowing your head to move naturally so that your neck isn't stiff or rigid. If you need to move your head less and just keep your eyes a little bit more focused, that's okay. Just trying to do it without that rigidity in the neck. If you want to give it a lot of welly, you can really draw the back of the arm across the body, really lift the chest towards the ceiling, doing as much as feels good. Let's do 2 more in this direction. And then when you're ready, you can rest your arm down to your side. Just take a moment to come back to center. Feel the difference between the 2 sides of the body. Hopefully one feels really invigorated and energized and warm, and the other one feels like it wants to do the same. So we'll roll our left shoulders. If it feels good to roll with your shoulder, you can try making these circles with your elbow. If anything is crunchy or clunky or clicky, slow the movement down, make the circle smaller, doing your whole arm if it feels good to do so. Just noticing how much more challenging perhaps that is for your shoulder joint. And then when you're ready, pressing into your feet, firming belly and legs and buttocks to allow the whole body to join in as much as it would like to. And then noticing how that is different. When the whole body joins in, there's much less challenge or strain across the shoulder itself. It is a much more harmonious situation for the body. And then if you'd like to give it a bit more welly, just drawing the back of the arm across the body, really opening through the upper back. And as the arm comes behind the body, opening the chest, really firming the buttocks when you're doing those back bends. Belly muscles always engaged. Let's do 2 more. And just resting the left arm down to the side, making any small movements that feel good, taking a moment in stillness just to notice the effect of your practice. Deep breath in and sigh out. And then we're going to lift the shoulders and drop. Squeeze them up towards the ears, hold them briefly there, and then drop them down. One more time. Lift, squeeze, drop. Good job. Okay, shake out the wrists, interlace the hands, and then keeping the elbows quite close together, just making figure of 8s with the wrists. And going the opposite way as well. Very good. And then with the fingers extended, just rolling the backs of the wrists and then the palms of the hands towards each other. And this really helps to limber up the soft tissue structures across the wrist, but it lubricates the joints as well, and the opposite way as well. Wrists are really quite interesting from an anatomy and physiology point of view. But then I really love the body, so maybe it only is interesting to me. When you're ready, just shaking out the arms and the hands, making any adjustments that feel good in your body. We're going to do a little bit of rounding through the spine, like a standing cat-cow. So I'm just standing slightly skew-whiffy to the camera, so it's easier to see. We're going to start by standing tall and reaching the arms nice and wide. And then we're going to try to curl the body in on itself. So scooping the belly in, bringing the elbows towards each other, rounding through the spine, maybe elbows towards the stomach, chin towards the chest. Soft in the knees, and then pressing into the feet to expand the body out again, reaching the fingertips away from each other, the hands away from each other, lifting the chest, lifting the belly muscles as well. And then when you're ready, coming the opposite way, rounding forward, reaching the arms forward first and then drawing them into the body, scooping the belly in. Let's move with our breath. Breathing in as you expand, firm belly, firm buttocks, but this lift through the body. Breathing out as you round, scooping the belly just that little bit further in, maybe activating the pelvic floor, rounding through the spine as much as feels comfortable. Breathing in to open, lift, draw prana into your practice. Breathing out, rounding, softening, scooping. Breathing in. Breathing out and following your own rhythm of breath, your own pattern of breath. If it's slightly different, that's not a problem. Just let your movement marry to your breath. Let's do one more after this one so that we finish with ourselves open. After breathing in and just floating the arms down to the side. Very good. And after that movement, perhaps you need a little dancing shoulder to release, or you might just need a moment of steadiness, or you might have a focus on lengthening through the back of the neck. Whatever works for you, just releasing in a way that feels good. And our final practice before we come down to doing a little bit more journey towards the mat is a side bend. So here you can have your feet as wide apart as feels comfortable. We're just simply going to start with a little gentle side bend to one side and then the other, nice and firm across the belly. Think about pressing the feet into the floor and perhaps using a touch of effort across the legs. Perhaps even the buttocks are just gently switched on. If you wish to, you can add your arms. So you can reach the opposite arm up and over as you come into your side bend. Reach the arm, the bottom arm across the body. And just going to wherever feels good for you. If you feel that you're moving in a more upright manner and less side bendy, don't worry. As long as you feel sensation down the long side of the body, that's what it's all about. It doesn't matter about the shape that you make. This time, as we come to one side, we're just going to bend the knee of the side we're moving towards and lift the heel. And then we're going to come up and over to the opposite side. So always bending the knee of the side we're leaning towards so that we get a little bit of length down that longer leg on the opposite side and across that hip, across that side of the body. Lifting in the belly muscles, just gently. And easing your way here. You might like to go a little bit slower. You might like to go a touch quicker, perhaps, but not too vigorous here. We're giving ourselves time to explore the sensations and also support this movement with really focused core support. Just one more to each side. And then finishing with both feet flat, but raising both arms. We're going to lift up as we breathe in. And then as you breathe out, just allow the arms to come down to the side. Give your shoulders a little wiggle if they need a little wiggle, adjusting anything else that feels good. If your legs need it, you can give them a shake out as well. Very good. So please excuse me as I adjust clothing. We're going to come down to the mat, but we're going to come into a little squat as we do. So we're coming to forward bend and then squat. We'll go between the two a little bit and then find our way all the way down to the floor. So coming into a comfortable position, you want your feet relatively wide and feet pointing straight-ish to begin with. Breathe in, take the arms around the body, a lift in the belly, a lift in the chest. As you breathe out, fold forward from your hips. Imagine you're lengthening your tail back behind you, swallow diving towards the floor, a little soft in the knees, and then folding over your legs. And as you come into this forward bend, I have a tendency to have my weight all the way in my heels. So if that's the case for you as well, just transferring your weight into the center of the foot. Again, if your weight is forward, transferring it back a little. You can have your blocks in front of you, and if we stretch the arms away, we get a sensation of almost doing like a downward dog type of pose. And with the knees nice and soft, we can wiggle the hips from side to side if that feels good. Think about lengthening from the tailbone to the crown of the head, to the fingertips, but just giving a little bit of space into the low back with that wiggle. When you're ready, you can come back to center and then just reach towards the floor a little bit more so the crown of the head comes down towards the floor. You might hold elbow to elbow or just hold stillness here. And then if you're holding elbow to elbow, you might like to sway the body like a pendulum from side to side. A lift in the belly muscles here, really strong in the legs. So you're really active in the legs because the knees are bent. Now, all we're doing is fixing the hips in place and allowing the rest of the body to move from that fixed pelvis. When you're ready, you can come to the center. You can use blocks or hands on the floor, turn the toes out, and just let your knees bend a little. So we don't need to come into a full squat this time. We're coming maybe about halfway down, and then just hanging here for a moment, squaring the feet up again, coming into your forward bend. You can reach your hands forward onto the blocks if you've got them handy, or just forward onto the floor if you've got nice long arms. Give your knees a little wiggle as if you were walking a dog, one knee and then the other, and then reaching for the floor or towards the floor, turning the toes out and just letting the hips come down, perhaps a little deeper this time. Holding for a moment, really pressing into the feet. We want to create buoyancy. We're not just slumped here. We're pressing into the feet to create buoyancy in the legs, and then we're going to square the feet up as we come back into that forward bend. Rock your weight perhaps a little bit more forward. Explore how it feels to have the weight over the toes. Give yourself any wiggles here that feel good, and then turning the feet out again, allowing the hips to come perhaps a little deeper this time. If you're comfortable in your low squat, you might like to just give yourself a little sway from side to side. If you're a bit higher up, you can press your hands into the floor or into some support like the blocks or perhaps a chair, and just give your hips a little wiggle here as well. If wiggling doesn't feel good, you don't have to do it. That's all good. So we're going to square the feet up one more time to come into our forward bend. And then we're going to come back into the squat. So we're wiggling as much as we need to wiggle here. Just let the back of the neck be nice and long, maybe a gentle nod or a gentle shake of the head. And then when you're ready, knees turned out, coming into the fullest squat that feels good to you. And for those who are low down, so those who are not, don't have to hold it. You can do anything that you like, come to hands and knees, whatever is good. For those who are comfortable holding, if you haven't done a sway from side to side already, then you might like to do that. And if you've already done that and you want to do something else, you can reach your left hand down to the left side of your mat, fingertips onto the floor, and then reach the right arm up to the right side, turning to the right. A little lift in the belly here. We're actively using the left arm to press into the inner left thigh. We're rolling the weight to the outside edges of the feet and really firm in the legs. And then coming back through the center and doing the same thing to the other side. Right hand down to the right side of the right foot, and then lifting the left arm up to the left. Nice, lovely twist here, active in the upper back. And then coming back to center, we're going to find our way to hands and knees. So it's just a little easing into our hands and knees position. And on our hands and knees, we want the knees about hip width apart, maybe slightly wider. Hands perhaps slightly wider than the shoulders as well. Could be more narrow if you want. And we're going to stir our whole body around in a circle. So it's as if we're circling the hips around the knees. So not like a cat-cow, but like a swirly-whirly. Yes. Like a rotation, and then going in the opposite direction. Pressing into the tops of the feet, a little bit firm in the belly, and just allowing the body to move around these points. And hopefully that should feel quite nice after your squat. When you're ready, you can come to the center, maybe bring the hands a little bit underneath the shoulders, and then here rolling the shoulders. So really active in the upper body, in the upper back particularly. It helps to have the arms lengthened, but just a touch of softness across the elbows. And when you're ready, rolling in the opposite direction. We've been doing quite a lot of that this term. So just enjoying it, hopefully enjoying it. Very good. And then when you're ready, you can tuck your toes under and walk your feet back to, walk your hands back towards your feet. If this isn't a comfortable way to come up, then you can come to proposal position and just step forward. But for those who are comfortable here on this little squat, it's like a standing child's pose. We want to just gently bring our chin towards our chest, sort of allow ourselves to drape forward over the knees or the thighs. Take a deep breath in and out, and then we're going to uncurl ourselves. If possible, bring your hands to the center of the chest, palms together, roll the shoulder blades down, really firm in the feet, press through the feet to come up to standing, and then lower the heels down. Relax the arms down to the side, give yourself a little bit of a shake. If you need to take a moment in stillness, taking a moment in stillness. If you like to wriggle, I like to wriggle, so wriggling if you like to wriggle. I'm just going to tuck my underneath layer in so that as we move through some of our inversions, I don't cause any embarrassment to myself mostly, but hopefully not to anybody. And then we're going to prepare for, now that our bodies are feeling good, we're going to prepare for our sun salutations. So coming to the front of your mat and having your 2 blocks ready, if you would like to use them. You don't have to use them, of course. We're going to start with our feet directly underneath our hips and turning the palms forward and letting the fingertips come down towards the mat as we lengthen in the opposite direction through the back of the body and into the crown of the head. Have a touch of effort across the belly muscles and the buttocks. And then when you're ready, you can take a deep breath in and out to start. We're going to breathe in, take the arms around the body and up. And as you breathe out, draw the palms down to the center of the chest. From here, breathing in, taking the arms back up, opening the front of the body, and then breathing out as you fold from your hips, soft in the knees, coming into a nice, gentle forward bend. Here, just pause for a moment, find your breath, and then make sure that your weight isn't all in your heels. As I said, that's where mine tends to be. So making sure that your weight is distributed over your legs, your feet nice and evenly. And then we're going to take a moment here and then step the right foot back. Don't worry about your breath, just allow your breath to be wherever it naturally is. As you step your right foot back, make sure it's as far back as you can comfortably put it, and then bringing your right knee to the mat on some sort of support if that feels good. We're going to take the blocks either side of the front leg and then just allow our hips to swing backwards and forwards. We've done a lot of this in the last few terms. I have found it really useful in my own practice because my hips were in a bit of distress prior to practicing this regularly. Your back toes can be tucked under or tucked flat, it doesn't matter. And we're just finding movement here. We're not trying to get anywhere in particular, just finding movement. Really lovely lubrication for the hips, really lovely to warm through that area as well. The next time your hips are back, just allow them to rest there. Doesn't matter if the left leg is straight or not. Ease the hips from side to side with a little wiggle. And you can feel the sides of the body switched on here as well. And then when you come forward, you can place your blocks down, just remove any support, hands onto the floor and step into plank pose. So here in plank pose, we're actually going to take the knees down and take the toes flat if possible, but hold this variation of the plank. So the knees down, they're behind where the hips are. If not, move them back a little bit. Press into your feet and just let your hips come forward until your shoulders are over your arms. Squeeze in the buttocks, firm in the belly, and really press the mat away from you. And this is where we're holding for just a deep breath in and deep breath out. And then to come down, you can come down any way that you like. If you're familiar with just lifting the tailbone ever so slightly, bending the elbows to bring the chest and chin or forehead down, then that's the way. If not, coming to the floor in any way that feels good to you. We're going to rest the forehead down for a moment. The hips are flat, and just give our body a moment to come to the mat in this way. Roll the shoulder blades towards each other, elbows nice and close to the body, pressing down with the pubic bone, active in the buttocks, the feet, the belly muscles, and then simply lifting the head and shoulders to wherever is comfortable so that there's no weight in the hands. The elbows are close to the body, but only because that helps to draw the shoulder blades down and open the chest. When you're ready, you can release your forehead back to the mat. And then we're going to tuck the toes under and press back into that extended knee down plank. And from there into downward facing dog. In your down dog, keeping the knees as bent as you need to lengthen the chest towards the thighs and lift the tailbone high. And we're scooping the belly in. We want to be active in the hands as well. We want to be active in the arms. See if you can gently roll the inner elbows slightly forward, keeping the elbows just a touch soft. And then relax by letting the elbows flare out to the side slightly. Take your awareness into your shoulders. Do that one more time. Fingertips are pressing into the mat, gently rolling the inner elbows towards each other and noticing where you feel that active engagement around the shoulder girdle, the tops of the shoulders even, the arms. Keeping the elbows a little soft, walking your dog, one heel and then the other. Just gently walking from side to side. I've got a little bit of tendinitis in my Achilles at the moment, so if I look a bit odd or a bit unusual, that is because I'm just taking care of that. I don't think it was from yoga actually, but there we are. It was probably from some mad workout that I was trying to do. Anyway, once we've done this walking, we're going to come back to center, drop the knees down to the mat, and then step the right foot forward. Doesn't matter how it gets there, we just want the right foot forward. Left knee supported by something if you need it. Blocks in place to do a little swinging of the hips backwards and forwards in our lunge position. Tucking the back toe flat or tucking under, it doesn't matter. So we're swinging the hips, again, not trying to find any particular shape, just enjoying the movement between one place and the next. Let's do one more here. And I know that we haven't wiggled on this side, but we're just about to do it on the other side. So when you're ready, blocks to one side, just freeing that back knee, getting a bit buoyant across the 2 feet so you can lightly step your left foot forward into your forward bend. 2, come up, look forward, take the arms wide, drop your bottom, press into your feet to stand all the way tall. Reaching the arms up and then drawing the hands down to the center of the chest. Release the hands so you stand in Tadasana, taking a deep breath in and out here. Breathe in as the arms come around the body, lifting the chest, looking up, firm belly, firm buttocks. Breathing out, hands to the center of the chest. Breathe in as you reach just up, lengthening the front of the body, and then breathe out as you fold from the hips, hands to feet, head to knees, relaxing your breath into a rhythm that suits it. Taking a moment just to make sure that your weight is centered over your feet. Has a different feel in the backs of the legs when you're centered rather than hanging out too much in the toes or the heels. Relax the back of the neck, maybe give a gentle nod or a shake of the head. And then when you're ready, you can step your left foot back as far as it goes. Support the left knee, hands onto the blocks if you were using them on the other side, and we'll just gently swing the hips backwards and forwards. So here, I'm just tucking my back toe flat because it feels a little bit more comfortable today. And you can play with the position of the front foot, whether it's toes down or heels down and toes up, doesn't matter. If you get a better sensation from one than from the other, maybe that's the best one to choose. The next time your hips are back, you can give them a little wiggle from side to side. Feels so good, doesn't it? Really gets to places that other stretchers don't manage. And then when you're ready, taking the hips forward, hands to the mat, and stepping back into plank pose. From plank pose, we're just letting the knees come down as far back as we can, and toes can be untucked if that's more comfortable. We want to firm the belly, firm the buttocks, lift the body away from the floor. Here, we're going to play with that roll of the inner elbows forwards and then out to the side. We don't want to lock the elbows absolutely straight. Just want to play with rolling the elbows in and out and see if that makes a difference to how this feels. Inner elbows rolled slightly forward is slightly stronger, I think, for our bodies. And then when you're ready, coming down to the mat. It doesn't matter how you get there. Knees, chest, chin is great. If you want to lower straight down, that's fine too. Press the feet into the floor. Press the pubic bone down, activate the belly and the buttocks, draw the elbows towards each other, open the chest by drawing the shoulder blades down, and then just gently lifting the head and the chest without taking any real weight into the hands. Holding for a moment as you breathe on this side. And you will be looking down. You would only be looking up if you've done an incredible back bend. And then when you're ready, releasing all the way down. We're going to take the weight onto the hands, scoop the belly in, go through that extended plank pose into downward facing dog. In your down dog, doing a little bit of wiggling. So we're walking the dog, but at the same time, we want to press into the hands, maybe look under one arm and then the other. So we get just a touch of movement through the upper body as well. Pressing into the fingertips. Maybe thinking about rolling the inner elbows a touch forward, just enough to engage in the upper arms and across the chest and shoulders. When you're ready, coming to center, we're going to take the knees back down to the mat and step the left foot forward, supporting the right knee if we need to, hands on the blocks, and just rocking the hips backwards and forwards. So we're steadily moving from one place to the other. Here you can keep the toes down on the front foot, or you can draw the toes back towards the body for extending through the heel. Doing a little bit of both is usually quite good. Just whatever gives you the best sensation. And allowing your body to follow this movement quite naturally. If you want to do it in a more controlled way, slower, steadier, that's okay too. Let's do one more. And then from here, we're just going to free that back knee, get a bit of buoyancy across the feet so we can lightly step the right foot forward. Find that forward bend for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. As you breathe out, scoop the belly in, look forward, breathing in, taking the arms out to the side, around the body and up. Breathing out, drawing the palms together at the center of the chest. Stand in Tadasana. Find anything that you need to wriggle out, wriggling it out. And then we'll prepare for our second round. And as I said, we're just taking things quite easy today in this part of the practice. It's still challenging, and in fact it is, I think, somewhat more challenging from moving slowly in it. But it means that we're allowing the body to adapt, and any modifications that you need to make, you can do. So standing tall in Tadasana, fingertips lengthening towards the floor, active in the center of the body, deep breath in and out. Breathing in as you take the arms around the body and up, lifting the belly. Breathing out as you fold forwards from the hips, hands to feet and head to knees. And then here we're breathing in as we step the right foot back as far as it goes, knee coming to the mat. And we're going to hold here so let your breath find its natural rhythm. So here, if you need something underneath the right knee, you can pop it underneath the right knee. We're going to press into both feet and bring the hands to the top of the left thigh. And then we're just going to do some dynamic lunge work, but with our arms, as we've done over the last few weeks. So you can take the arms up as the hips come forward, and then take the arms back as the hips come back, leaning over your front leg. So arms up as the hips come forward, much more effort in the center of the body, arms back as the hips come back and the body comes forward. So let's do 3 more of these. So we've done 5 in total. Nice and firm in the center, really supportive with the legs. There's no way to support it anywhere with anything else. So we really have to do our core work. And then when you're ready, coming back to a neutral spot, releasing a support if you've got one, and stepping into plank pose. This time we're holding a normal plank, or you can hold the plank that we did the previous round, scooping the belly in, pressing the mat away, and holding here just as you play with that roll of the inner elbows. So you find a place that feels really strong for you or supportive for you. And then when you're ready, knees, chest, forehead or chin. Point your toes, let your hips become flat. Roll the shoulder blades towards each other, forehead on the floor to begin with, and coming up into a gentle cobra, but one where you're pressing into your hands just a little bit more. We're really supportive in the low body here, and we're just going to go up and down to the mat. So gentle lift, firm in the belly and the buttocks, a gentle lower. If you want to coordinate with your breath, you can. Gentle lift and gentle lower. Let's do 2 more. So again, we've done 5. Gentle lift, gentle lower, soft shoulders moving down, elbows close to the body. Gentle lift, gentle lower. And then from here, we're going to come to hands and knees, and then up into downward facing dog. If you want to go straight from cobra to down dog, you absolutely can. Here, bending both knees quite deeply, pressing the chest towards the thighs, lifting the tailbone as high as you can, and just letting the head turn gently from side to side. Play with that inner elbow movement, rolling the inner elbows towards each other. Taking another deep breath in and out, and then extending, keeping the upper body and the body from the hips to the crown where it is, and just extending through the legs into a place that feels good to you. So you don't have to get your knees straight, you don't have to get your heels anywhere close to the floor. And then from here, gently coming into hands and knees and stepping the right foot forward. We're not going to do the hip swinging on this side, we're going to do it on our left side. So instead we're doing a little twist here. So allowing that left knee to go backwards a little bit if it feels good to you. You can keep your left hand down, nice and supportive in the legs, and just rolling the right arm around the body. So pressing both feet to the floor, that's really important. Nice and firm in the belly. Allowing that movement of the arm to be what allows the twist to happen. 2 more, so we've done 5. 5 of everything today. 5 is such an energizing number. And then when you're ready, turning to the front, just freeing that back leg so you can lightly step the left foot forward into your forward bend. Hold for a deep breath in and deep breath out, and then to come up. Breathing in as you look forward, drop your bottom, press through your legs, coming all the way up. Breathing out, palms together at the center of the chest. Stand in Tadasana for a breath in and out. And breathing in, take the arms up around the body. And we're folding straight forward as we breathe out, hinging from the hips, coming into that forward bend. Here in the forward bend, just play with the weight for a moment, making sure that the back of the neck is nice and relaxed, maybe doing a gentle nod or a gentle shake. And then when you're ready, stepping your left foot back as far as it goes, taking something to support the left knee, pressing into the feet, firming the body so that we can rest the hands on top of the right thigh, coming into an upright position. And if you haven't, let your breath go into its natural rhythm. So we're really firm in the legs here. We can have the back toes tucked under or tucked flat, it doesn't matter. And then we're moving with the arms, breathing in as we open the chest towards the ceiling, and then just letting the hips move back and letting the arms move back at the same time, maybe the chest forward towards the front leg. That's a nice to have. We want to move in a way that feels really centered, going between one and the next, so that we feel supported by the core muscles, the back of the body in this back bend, and then more into the front of the body with this forward bend. Let's do 2 more. Very nice. There's a little bit of balance going on here as well, which is always good. Trying to move ourselves through space in a really controlled manner. When you're ready, you can come back into your lunge, take the hands to the floor and step into plank pose. And in plank pose, again, we're holding the plank, pressing into the heels, firming the belly, scooping the body away from the floor, scooping up and in, just playing with the roll of the inner elbows. And in your own time, knees, chest, forehead or chin to the floor. Allow your feet to point away from you so the feet are flat, the hips are flat. Roll the shoulder blades towards each other, pressing down into the pubic bone. And then when you're ready, you can gently come up into a gentle cobra. So it's not super high. We've still got nice bent elbows, still rolling the shoulder blades towards each other to look forward, to open the chest rather, and then coming back down again. We're going to go up and down 4 more times. So gentle lift, nice and firm in the buttocks, gentle lower, gentle lift. You don't have to come up very high, just do what suits your back best. But also notice if you press into your fingertips, how much stronger the hands are. Last one, up and down. This is really good for your upper body strength as well. From here, we're going to tuck the toes, come through extended plank or plank itself, and then into downward facing dog. And in our downward dog again, we're going to bend both knees so we can press the chest towards the thighs, lift in the hips, dangle the head, maybe do a little gentle turn from side to side, and then slowly begin to extend the legs, keeping the upper body lengthened, keeping active fingertips, belly, and perhaps even pressing the the shoulders away from the body, sort of up towards the ears rather than away from the ears. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Then we're softly bending the knees back into our hands and knees position and stepping the left foot forward. You can leave your right foot down. You can support the back knee if you wish to. And we're just letting ourselves come into the biggest lunge that feels nice to do, and then moving with the left arm in a nice circle. So firm in the legs, particularly in the right buttock, just moving the left arm in that circle. And as we move in the circle, that's what creates the twist. So, and you feel it more if your center is engaged. Let's do 2 more. 5 of everything. Very nice. To come forward, we just free that back knee, get a bit of buoyancy across the 2 feet to lightly step the right foot forward. Find your forward bend for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then to come up Breathe in as you look forward, lift the arms, drop the bottom, stretch the arms over the head, and breathe out as the palms come together at the center of the chest. Stand for a moment in Tadasana, just give yourself a wiggle, anything that needs wiggling. So this is our round where we're going to do some fancy things from our prone position into doing some work for the back of the body. So I'm going to get rid of some of the things that are in front of my mat or to the side of my mat. And you might want to just make sure you've got a touch of space. You just need to be able to lie by the side of your mat. If you don't have that space, as we come into these movements, you can just shunt yourself back towards your mat instead of rolling away from it, if that makes sense. That hopefully will make sense when we do it. So when you're ready, coming to the top of your mat, just spinning the palms forward, dropping the fingertips down, lengthening through the crown of the head, nice and firm across the center. Taking a deep breath in and out here. Then breathing in to take the arms around the body and up. Breathing out as you fold forward from the hips, hands to feet, head to knees, soft knees as much as is needed. Breathing in, step the right foot back as far as it goes. You can take your knee down if you'd like to. You can keep your knee up if you prefer. Press into both feet and come into an upright position. Breath following its natural rhythm. Here we're going to reach the arms up over the head, firm in the belly and the buttocks, maybe a gentle tuck under of the tailbone, and just open the chest. Feel the back of the body really supportive as we hold for 2 more deep breaths. Anyone who doesn't want to hold, don't have to hold. 1 more deep breath in, deep breath out, and then finding the mat with the hands, lengthening the back leg and stepping into plank pose. Here in plank pose, we're going to do just a moment of activation. So you can either hold here, or you can float your right leg off the floor, just feeling the back of the body, nice and supported. Float the right foot down, float the left leg off the floor. Very good, and down. And then from here, knees, chest, forehead, or chin. We're going to make a pillow out of the hands this time. Rest the forehead on the back of the hands. Lengthen through the tops of the feet so that the tops of the toes are on the floor as well. And we're just giving our hips a little wiggle from side to side. A moment for the body to release into this position. Maybe a deep breath in and a sigh out. Very good. We're going to bring our thighs towards each other just for a moment. And then we're going to press the left foot down, press the pubic bone down, firm the belly muscles. So we sort of draw them inwards slightly, almost like we were trying to lift the belly away from the mat, keeping the upper body nice and heavy. Forehead heavy into the hands, arms, chest, shoulders heavy into the mat. We're pressing down with the left side to lift the right leg up and gently lower down. And when we're going to do the same thing again, 2 more times, lifting the right leg up and gently lowering down. 1 more time with the right leg, lifting up and gently lowering down. This time we're going to lift the right leg up and then softly bend at the knee. So just a little bend at the knee, then lengthen the right leg and lower down. 1 more time, lifting the right leg up, soft bend at the knee, lengthen the right leg and lower down. And this time we're going to reach that right foot over. So pressing down into the left side, lift the right leg, bending at the knee, and then reaching the right foot across the body towards the left side of the floor, the mat, whatever it might be. You don't need to get there. We're rolling the hip back to center and lengthening the right leg and lowering all the way down to the mat. Re-establish your connections. So down with the left foot, down with the pubic bone, lifting in the belly. Lift the right leg up 1 more time, soft bend at the knee, and then reaching the toes across the body behind you towards wherever it is that they might reach. And then rolling the hips back to center, lengthening your leg down to the floor. We'll take a moment just to wiggle the hips from side to side, hands underneath the shoulders, Pressing back onto hands and knees. We're going to take the knees either wide or together, it doesn't matter. Reaching the hands forward and coming into a child's pose. Here, if you can, soften your forehead down to the floor or make a support out of your forearms to rest your head on. And we're going to do a little twist to our, let's twist to the left hand to the right side. So lifting the body and sliding the left hand underneath the right arm, taking the left side of the head and the shoulder to the floor or towards the floor. Keep reaching the right hand away from you and then soften everything. So release all of the effort and hold for a couple of deep breaths. And then when you're ready, you can gently slide that hand back to center. We're going to do both sides. So making a little space underneath the left arm, slide the right arm underneath the body, taking the right side of the head and shoulder towards the floor. Reach with your left fingertips and then just allow everything to soften for 2 deep breaths. When you're ready, you can come back to center, reach the hands away from you, come to hands and knees, and then up into downward facing dog. And take a moment in your downward dog, just giving a little paddling from side to side. And then we're going to bring the feet towards each other and just do a 3-legged dog variation. So press chest towards thighs, lift the right leg up, and then drawing the knee to the chest and rounding through the spine, nose to knee, heel to buttock, shoulders perhaps over the hands. Inhaling as you lengthen up, maybe looking forward as you lift your leg. Exhaling as you round through the spine, nose to knee, heel to buttock. Inhaling one more time, just 3 of these. Exhaling as you round. And then here, if you want to, step your right foot forward to your hands. If not, come through hands and knees and find yourself in your lunge, but with your left leg raised. We're going to bring the hips forward and do 5 of those nice rotations, lifting the right arm around the body. As it twists the body, we're pressing into both feet, firm in the belly, firm in the buttocks, really getting that nice length across the right hip as we make this twist with all of that firmness holding us to center. Let's do 2 more. Nice expansive movements if that feels good to you. Very good. And then we're playing with the buoyancy across the feet so we can lightly step the left foot forward, hold the forward bend for a deep breath in and out. And then breathing in as you look forward, drop your bottom, reach your arms up. Breathing out as you bring your hands down to the center of the chest. Stand tall in Tadasana as you take a deep breath in and out. Breathe in to take the arms around the body and up. Breathing out as you fold forward, hands to feet, head to knees. Here in your forward bend, just take a moment, and then when you're ready, step your left foot, back as far as it goes. Take the left knee down, pressing into the feet to come into an upright lunge position, supporting anything that needs supporting. We're going to firm our legs, our belly, our buttocks, raise the arms up, taking the hands slightly back behind you if you can, really feeling the support of the legs, and taking 3 deep breaths. Allow your hands to find the floor again. Come into your plank pose and just preparing for those active plank positions. So either staying here in plank, really active in pressing the body away from the floor, or float the left leg off the floor. Feel the switching on of the muscles in the back of the left leg and the low back, and then lifting the right leg off the floor. Not at the same time, sore signs. Okay, and then reaching down and taking knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Resting your head on the back of your hands, stretching your toes out, lengthening the whole body downwards. Think about pressing the right foot down, the pubic bone down, scooping the belly muscles inwards, keeping the head, the shoulders, and the chest heavy. Lengthen the left leg up away from the mat and gently lower. Let's do 2 more like that. Gently lift, active in the buttock, and gently lower. Right side is active to support. Gently lift the left leg up and lower. We'll do 2 now with a little bend in the knees. Lift the left leg up and then softly bend the knee just to lift the toes a little bit higher, and then lengthen the left leg and lower down. Still active on the right side and the belly and the buttocks. Lift the left leg up, softly bend the knee to lift the foot or the toes just a little higher, and lengthen and lower. And then this time we're going to reach the toes across the body. So lengthen the left leg up, softly bend the knee, reach the toes across the body to wherever they might get to, doesn't matter where it is, and then roll the hips back to center, lengthen the left leg and lower down. Try to keep the upper body relatively heavy, doesn't matter if it moves a little. Press down with the right foot, the pubic bone, scoop the belly in, lift the left leg up, softly bend the knee, reach your toes across the body, and then roll back to center and lower down. One last time, reaching up with the left leg, softly bending the left knee, reach the toes across the body to the right side, and then rolling hips back to center, lengthen and lower. Soften here, lying on your tummy, and just give your hips a little wiggle from side to side. When you're ready, hands underneath the shoulders, and you can come into that extended child's pose. If you did it with your knees apart last time, perhaps doing it with the knees together this time, choose the child's pose that feels best for you. We're going to tent the fingertips of the left hand, slide the right arm underneath, take the right shoulder and the right side of the head towards the floor, then soften both arms down, just holding this little twisted child's pose. Soft, deep breath. And then gently coming back to the center, tenting the fingertips of the right hand so you can slide the left arm underneath, left side of the head and shoulder to the floor, softening both arms, holding your twisted child's pose. Feels differently with the knees apart or the knees together or the knees closer perhaps. Just observing what feels the best to you. You can always choose the variation you enjoy the most or feels the most useful. When you're ready, coming back to the center, reaching the hands forward, tucking the toes, coming up into downward facing dog. Giving yourself a little wiggle in down dog if that feels useful. And then we're going to press the chest towards the thighs, lift the left leg up, firm the back of the left leg, and then draw knee to chest, nose to knee, heel to buttock, shoulders forward over the hands, and then three-legged dog, lifting and then rounding through the spine, lifting, activating the back of the body, and then lengthening up the back of the body. If you want to, from here, you can simply step your left foot forward. If not, that's okay. Come through hands and knees. Leave the right arm down, the hips forward, but firm in the legs, really pressing into the legs, firm belly and buttocks, and then rolling the left arm in those 5 big circles. We want to allow the left knee to stay fairly centered. If we do that, we get a much better sense of length around the outside of the left hip than if we let the left knee go away to Guruk, as they say here in Scotland. Let's do one more of these beautiful open circles. And then we create a little buoyancy between the 2 feet to lightly step the right foot forward. In your forward bend, hold for a deep breath in. Relax the back of the head, deep breath out. Soften the knees, breathe in as you look forward. Drop your bottom, press through the legs. Breathing out as the hands come down to the center of the chest. Release in Tadasana just for a moment. We've got one more round to do, and this time we're really rolling with our legs. So I want to show you what that looks like first. It's been a while since we've done this one in class, although I did do a short video on it last week. So as we come into the movement this time, I'm going to show you with my left leg, but we'll actually do the right side first. We come from our prone position. We're going to lift lift one leg, bend at the knee, and then we're going to lengthen the opposite arm and roll as that foot comes to the floor. So we roll onto our backs. And here we're going to then bend both knees. So we come into constructive rest. We'll find our robot arms, come up into a bridge pose, and we'll go up and down a bridge pose a couple of times, and then we'll hula hoop our bridges. We're going to lengthen the arm and leg that we're rolling towards, and then gently press back to center to roll onto our prone position again. And we might do it a couple of times to each side, just so that we imprint that movement, and because we've only got time for one more round. So we'll do it all in that one round. Coming to the front of your mat, handing the palms, dropping the fingertips down, standing tall as you breathe in and out. Then when you're ready, breathing in, take the arms around the body and up, looking up, perhaps breathing out as you fold forward from your hips, hands to feet, soften the knees as needed. Breathing in, step your right foot back as far as it goes, knee to the mat, looking forward. We're not holding here, we're simply holding the breath as we come into plank pose, looking ahead of the mat. Exhaling, knees, chest, and chin to the floor. And here we let our breath find its natural rhythm. Make a pillow out of the hands. Rest the forehead down on the hands. Here, if it's helpful, you can already lengthen your right arm and just rest your head on the back of your left hand. Oh no, sorry, other way around. Lengthen the left arm, rest the forehead on the back of the right hand. My bad. We're going to press the left foot down, firm the belly and the buttocks, and then lift the right leg up, bend the right knee, and then reach the right foot across the body and allow the body to roll to the left to come into lying down on the left with, lying down on the back with the left leg extended. We'll slide that leg in. We're going to take robot arms and press the backs of the arms, the shoulders, even the back of the head gently down towards the floor. Press into the heels and then scoop the belly in, tuck the tailbone and come up into a bridge pose and roll down again. So we're going to go up and down 3 times, rolling up, pressing into the heels, firming the back of the body and rolling down. Doesn't matter how high you come up, just make it feel good in your body. Rolling up and rolling down. And then this time, we're going to come up into that bridge pose and circle the hips, hula hoop the hips 3 times in each direction. Lovely job. 3 times in the other direction. And then we're going to roll all the way down. Lengthen the left arm over the head, lengthen the left leg, and press off the right foot to roll back into your prone position. And then here in the center, give your hips a little bit of a wiggle. And we're going to do the other side while we're here, so that when we come to do this with the left leg, we do it the other way around, but we do it one more time. So from our prone position, we're going to lengthen the right arm. Going to press down with the right foot, lift the left leg up, bend the left knee, and then reach the left foot across the body as we roll to the right side and find ourselves on our backs with our right leg extended. Bend the knee to place the foot on the floor, roll the shoulders and the elbows into the mat, cactus arms with palms facing, maybe even lengthen the back of the head gently down. Press into the heels and scoop your belly in, firm your buttocks, firm the back of the body as you lift the hips up and gently lower down. Gently lift, pressing into the back of the body, using the support of the back of the body. and gently lower. Let's do one more. Lift and lower. And then here we're going to lift and hula hoop. So really using the upper body, but also the underneath of the body into the heels, and then gently hula hooping 3 times. Nice and steady in each direction, swapping direction when you're ready to hula hoop the opposite way. When you're ready, releasing the hips down to the mat, lengthening the right arm and the right leg, and then pressing off the left foot to roll back into your prone position, nice and graceful, forehead on the back of the hands, wiggle the hips from side to side, toes turn slightly in, heels turn slightly out. Deep breath in and sigh out. Then hands underneath the shoulders, coming through hands and knees into downward facing dog. And we'll just do the right side with our 3-legged dog, so pressing chest towards thighs, lifting the right leg up only if you wish to. This time we're going to bring the right knee to the right elbow as we come forward, and then come back to our 3-legged dog, nice and steady, and then right knee to left elbow. So we're doing a slight twist variation of what we did on the previous round. Let's do one more to each side, right knee to right elbow. As we come forward, 3-legged dog, right knee to left elbow. And then from our 3-legged dog, you can either step all the way forward, or you can come through hands and knees and find your way into this lunge. We're going to take that right foot slightly out to the right and do some of our what are called deep lunge rotations or dragon variation. So hips come nicely forward, pressing into both feet, really buoyant and supportive in the legs, reaching the right arm up towards the ceiling, maybe even firming the upper back to reach behind the body if you can. And then draw your right elbow to your right knee, slide it all the way down the inside of the right leg, towards the floor. Doesn't matter if you get there. 2 more like that. Reaching up and open, nice and firm in the belly and the legs. Right elbow to the inside of the right leg, slide it towards the floor. 1 more time. Opening and then sliding down. And then coming back to a more centered position, nice and buoyant across both feet, to step the left foot forward. Come into your forward bend for a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. To come up, breathe in as you look forward, drop your bottom, stand tall, and breathe out, palms together at the center of the chest. Stand in Tadasana, take a moment to breathe in and out. Same thing to the left. Breathing in, take the arms around the body and up. Breathing out as we fold forward, hands to feet and head to knees. Breathe in as you step your left foot back, knee to your mat, opening your chest, and then hold your breath, coming into plank pose. Look ahead of your mat. Exhale, knees, chest, and forehead or chin, and find your prone position. Just taking a moment here, let your breath find its natural rhythm. We're going to lengthen the left arm and leg first, and then pressing into the left side of the body. Hold on, no, we're going to lengthen the right arm and leg first. Pressing into the right side of the body, we're going to lengthen the left leg up, softly bend at the knee, and then roll to the right, taking the left foot to the floor, finding ourselves in constructive rest and robot arms. Roll the back of the shoulders down, really pressing through the arms, a gentle press through the head, press into the heels of the feet, scoop the belly in and roll the hips up, and gently lower as you roll down. Rolling up and down 2 more times. This movement really activates the back of the body. It works as a cohesive unit to lift. But when we come to hula hooping, we have to switch that support on and off as we move, which is why it's such a useful movement. So we've done 3 up and down, and now we're rolling up to hula hoop. And you can feel what's switched on in the back of your body And then as you hula hoop, you have to soften the buttocks a little bit and then switch them on again, one after the other. Hula hooping 3 times in one direction and then hula hooping 3 times in the other direction. Effort changes across the body. When you're ready, rolling all the way down, we're lengthening the right arm and leg, pressing off the left foot to gently roll back to center, taking a moment to rest the forehead on the back of the hands. Give the hips a little wiggle if they need it. Then we're going to lengthen the left arm and leg, press the left foot down into the floor, firm the belly to lift the right foot, soften that knee, reach the toes over to the left as you roll to the left, finding your way into constructive rest, but with the backs of the arms in cactus arms, backs of the arms pressing down into the mat. Firm the back of the body, roll the hips up, and gently roll down. Really focus on that strength from behind. It's mostly in your buttocks as well as you roll up and down. So the strength from behind in your behind. Sorry, I could tickle myself all day. I shouldn't make myself laugh while I'm trying to do this. And then this time coming up into your bridge pose and hula hooping the hips 3 times in one direction. Nice and steady. And then 3 times in the other direction. Nice and steady. And as you roll all the way back down, lengthening the left arm and leg, pressing off the right foot to roll gracefully back to center. And take a moment just with the toes turned slightly in, heels turned slightly out, give your hips a little wiggle. Deep breath in and out. When you're ready, hands can come under the shoulders. You can press straight back into downward dog if you like, or come through your hands and knees. It doesn't matter which you choose. Take a downward dog with a relatively narrow stance. We're going to work just with the left side, chest pressed towards thighs, lifting the left leg up, firm the back of that leg, and then draw the left knee to the left elbow as you come forwards and back to your 3-legged dog. You can just hold dog if you prefer. And then left elbow to right knee across the body and back to center. Left elbow to left knee and back to center, or left knee to right elbow as opposed to the other way around, and back to center. Fortunately, you know me. You can either from here step the left foot forward, or if you prefer, come through hands and knees. It doesn't matter which you choose. We're going to take the left foot out to the left ever so slightly. Let the hips come forward, really supportive in your lunge, so very buoyant in these leg muscles. Reaching the left arm up to the left, even if you can, reaching the back of the left hand behind the body, using that space across the upper back. Firm in the legs, bring the left elbow to the inside of the left knee, down the inside of the left leg, towards the floor. It doesn't matter if it doesn't go all of the way. Reaching up 2 more times, opening across the chest, firm across the upper back, and then elbow to the inside of the left leg, elbow to the floor. 1 more time, pressing into both feet, and reaching that elbow down to the floor. And then coming back to a more upright position, get buoyant across the feet, step the right foot forward, widen your legs in your forward bend, hold elbow to elbow or backs of the hands towards the floor, nice and soft across the knees. Wiggle anything that needs wiggling, maybe a gentle turn of the head or a nod of the head, maybe a gentle pendulum sway of the upper body. Maybe stillness for a couple of deep breaths. When you're ready, we're going to gently bend the knees deeply, scoop the belly in, round through the spine, coming up to standing. And as you come up to standing, if you're dizzy, stay here. And if you're not, breathe in, take the arms around the body and uplift your chest. Breathe out, bring the palms together at the center of your chest. Take a moment as you come up to standing, just to feel the effect of your practice. Hopefully your body feels amazing. We need to give ourselves a little wriggle here and there. And we are going to counterpose with relaxation. We've been really, really active. Now all we need to do is have a little bit of stillness on the back of the body that's been really supportive. So you can choose to do legs up the wall, or you can choose to use a bit of a bolster for support. You can just have a normal relaxation pose. If you're lucky enough to be doing this on the video, you can get into bed and recline there. Fall asleep if you'd like to. Wherever you choose to be, just preparing yourself with some extra layers. I'm just going to have a little swig of juice. Some extra layers, maybe a blanket, maybe some support. And as you come down to whatever position you've chosen, if you need to do something, like for example, I really like to rest my head to the floor and then roll the head from side to side. A really nice way to release effort from across the neck and shoulders, maybe with the arms resting away from the body. Or you might like to bend your knees into your chest, give yourself a little massage of the low back, if that feels good. And I know that my body really enjoys back bending, but not everybody's body does. So we do all sorts of movements in class, but if your body feels the effort of back bending, you might like to do a little bit of knees to chest action. Or indeed, just resting the legs over a bolster will have a very similar effect. Whenever you're ready, you can sort of find your way towards the position that you'd like to hold for relaxation. And allow that sense of heaviness to come over the body. Take a deep breath in and sigh out through the mouth. And repeat 3 more times. A deep breath in, let all the effort of your practice go. A deep breath in, let your muscles begin to relax. A deep breath in and surrender your weight down into your mat. Allow your breath to find its natural, spontaneous rhythm and fall into quietness. Take your awareness into your forehead. Feel it soften. Feel the area around your eyes relaxing. Your mouth, tongue, and jaw releasing. Move your awareness to the back of your body. Become aware of all of the parts of the back of your body that are supported by the floor, the wall, the bolster, whatever it might be. Feel the back of the head connecting down. The backs of the shoulders, shoulder blades, arms and hands. Parts of the back of the rib cage, the buttocks, parts of the backs of the legs, the heels of the feet. Be aware of that sensation of contact and allow your body to soften everywhere it is supported. Move your awareness to all the parts of the back of the body that are not supported or not in contact. the back of the neck, the wrists, perhaps your low back, parts of the backs of the legs, the Achilles, and the soles of your feet. Experience the sensation of space between your body and the floor. Imagine a cushion of air underneath each of these body parts and allows them to soften into that support. The whole of the back of the body, heavy, warm, supported and releasing down. Move your awareness to the front of your body, becoming aware of the space over you and around you. Feel the touch of air on your face. The movement of your clothes on your skin as you breathe. The weight and the warmth of a blanket over you. Feel the sensation of space in the palms of the hands. Move your awareness to your breath. Allow your breath to find a gentle, soft, deep rhythm. And allow your body and mind to relax a little deeper with every exhalation.
gently begin to deepen your breath, bringing your awareness back into your hands and your feet by moving fingers, toes, maybe rolling wrists and ankles. When you feel ready, take a deep breath in and stretch the body in any way that feels good. Maybe stretching one side of the body and then the other. Oh, maybe stretching the face of the yawn. Maybe gently rolling the head from side to side. When you feel ready, you can bring your knees into your chest if that feels good to you. Maybe rolling around on your back if you've had legs up the wall, and making adjustments to this that suit the way that you need to come out of your posture, the stretches that you need to do. Whenever you're ready, you can roll to one side and take a moment there. Just easing yourself back, but also containing that sense of stillness, peacefulness. When you're ready, coming into any comfortable upright position, keeping the eyes gently closed if you can, resting your hands together at the center of the chest, either palms together or one on top of the other over the chest itself. Take a moment to organize yourself into a sense of length through the back of the body and notice the effect of your practice. I hope that you are feeling strengthened and energized with a lifted spirit, which is what energy, strength work in the back of the body does for us. It raises our energy, it lifts our spirits, it allows us to tap into those inner feelings of joy. And I hope you carry that joy with you throughout this week and spread as much of it as you can around to the people that you encounter along your journey. When you're ready, gently bowing your head towards your chest, blinking your eyes open, raising your head. Thank you so much for joining in this practice. I look forward to practicing with you again soon. Namaste.